A few years ago, I watched a friendship slowly fade away because we couldn't see past our political differences. We used to talk every week, now complete strangers. Last month, I saw a study that said 42% of Americans have ended a relationship over politics. But here's what hit me hard. On their deathbed, nobody says, "I'd wish I'd won more Facebook arguments." What if I told you that your political identity is actually destroying the connections that matter the most? And what if I told you I found a way to fix it? After today, you'll never look at political disagreements the same way again. Today, I want you to reflect on a relationship in your life that has been strained by political differences. Perhaps it's a family member you now avoid at gatherings, a friendship that has faded, or even the subtle distance that's grown between you and the colleague. These experiences have become increasingly common, and today I want to explore why it's critical that we don't allow political views to consume our minds and dictate our relationships. When we reduce people to their political opinions, we lose sight of their full humanity. Your conservative uncle may also be the person who taught you to fish. Your progressive mother is also the one who taught and supported you throughout your entire life. And the colleague who voted differently than you can still celebrate your work victories and mourn your losses. Behind every political position is a person with fears, hopes, and values that, at their core, may not be so different than yours. They want safety and opportunity and dignity, though they may have different ideas about how to achieve those things. When politics begins to consume our identity, several things happen. We narrow our perspective. We become trapped in echo chambers that reinforce our views and demonize others. We exhaust our emotional resources. Constant political anxiety and outrage deplete the energy we need for our own growth and for nurturing relationships. We lose our ability to listen. Rather than seeking to understand, we prepare our counter-arguments, closing the door to genuine connection. We sacrifice joy. Simple pleasures and shared experiences take a backseat to ideological battles. Remember that most people are not defined solely by their political beliefs. By focusing on our shared experiences, values, and goals, we can build bridges across divides and get back to celebrating the personal milestones that matter to everyone. Birthdays, achievements, new beginnings. To do that, I encourage you to engage in activities that bring joy and meaning outside the political sphere. Practice curiosity about others' lives beyond their voting record, and seek to understand the experiences that have shaped different perspectives. Now, there's an undeniable value in advocating for your beliefs. Social progress has always required courageous voices willing to speak uncomfortable truths. However, there's a crucial distinction between purposeful advocacy and compulsive political preaching. When we feel compelled to correct every perceived political misstep in family gatherings or social settings, we have to ask ourselves, is this conversation likely to create meaningful change, or am I simply feeding my need to be right? With family especially, consider whether winning an argument about policy is worth the lasting damage to your relationship. The most effective advocates know when to speak powerfully and when restraint serves their cause better. They recognize that credibility comes through relationship, not alienation. While we shouldn't remain silent about fundamental injustices, we can choose our moments wisely, approaching conversations with genuine curiosity rather than combative certainty, especially with those in our innermost circles whose relationships we treasure beyond political seasons. I've found that adopting these practices can transform how we engage with politics while preserving our relationships. Number 1. Set boundaries around political discussions. There are times and places for these conversations, and it's okay to establish when you're not open to them. Number 2, practice active listening. When political topics do arise, listen to understand rather than to respond. Ask questions that deepen understanding rather than challenge positions. Number 3, remember your values. If connection and compassion are important to you, let those values guide your interactions more strongly than political allegiance. Number 4, monitor your media diet. Be intentional about diversifying your sources and taking breaks from the news cycle when needed. And number 5, focus on local impact. Channel political energy into community service and direct action rather than endless debate. We don't need to abandon our principles or avoid difficult conversations to maintain relationships across political differences. Instead, we can approach these differences with humility, recognizing that our perspective is limited and that good people can reach different conclusions. Consider what truly matters at the end of life: the connections we've maintained, the love we've shared, or the moments of understanding across differences. Political victories come and go, but our legacy lies in how we've treated the people in our lives. And as you live out today, I challenge you to reach out to someone with whom you've disagreed politically. Don't discuss politics. Instead, reconnect over a shared interest or simply check in on their well-being. This small act of bridging divides enriches not only our relationships, but our own lives immeasurably. I'm curious to hear about your experience with this topic. Have you had a relationship strained by political differences that you were able to repair? Or perhaps you found effective ways to maintain connections despite deep disagreements. Drop a comment below and let's continue this conversation. If this resonates with you, please hit the like button on this video and consider subscribing for more content on mindset, relationships, and maintaining balance in our polarized world. You can also connect with me on Instagram and Facebook at @TheRealBrandonBianco, where I share daily insights and respond to your questions. And of course, right here on YouTube. I'll be back soon with another video on navigating life's challenges with intention and clarity. Until then, remember, our relationships are too valuable to sacrifice on the altar of political identity. Stay mindful, stay connected, and I'll see you in the next one.